everybody, and welcome to a rather rainy Media City UK and episode 4 of Act on This TV. I am super pumped about today's guest because it's not often as actors we get to hear from people like this. In about 30 minutes time, I'm going to be sitting down with one of the country's top executive producers, Mr. Tom Sherry from Red Production Company. Red are responsible for some of the biggest dramas on TV. We're talking titles like Scott and Bailey, Happy Valley, last time in Halifax, Paranoid, to name but a few. And these guys have got BAFTAs and RTS awards coming out of their ears. Not literally, obviously that would be a little bit weird. The execs, guys, are like the people right at the top. Okay, these are the guys who really call the shots when it comes to casting. They employ the casting directors and they're responsible for a whole lot more as well. We're going to be finding out from Tom what that whole lot more is, as well as getting to know him more on a human level. What is it that makes him tick? What has been responsible for his success? What has he learned from his failures? Okay, it's going to be a super interesting chat. I'm going to head up to on the 7th now, dry off, get changed, and I will see you guys on the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, let me have a big round of applause for tonight's special guest, Red Production Company Executive Producer, Mr. Tom Sherry. I love it. Sounds like we've got a massive crew.
It does.
Absolutely
That's because
amazing.
I joined in.
Exactly. Well, guests don't normally do it. They just sort of sit there looking slightly embarrassed. But Tom, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It wasn't that long ago when we were in a room just around the corner from here for a read-through for your newest drama, Paranoid. I won't give any of the story away, but I was reading in for about 14 characters of various nationalities, accents.
Different voices, different accents all the way through. Yeah.
I did fluent German that day.
Yeah, you did. You did.
And that surprised everyone,
without a comedy twist on a couple of occasions. There were others where it was, you know.
When I was going straight from German straight into English. I think I was saying something about something, I can't give it away, it's plot twist, and then you go straight into English going, that's what I said. Ridiculous. So it wasn't that long ago we were here. I wrote you into doing this, so thanks for being a man of your word and showing up.
Pleasure.
Excellent. Tonight we're going to be talking shop. So basically, you know, everything that you do on a daily basis. But we also want to talk about you as a human being. I like my interviews to be...
A producer being a human being.
Does it exist?
Well, there'd be many who would argue that point.
Well, we'll see how humane you are. We also want to talk about Wendy Patterson. So Beverly Keogh, the casting director, her assistant was like, oh my God, you've got to talk to Tom about his farm.
Not quite a farm, but certainly a few animals kicking around. Yeah.
Excellent. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And yeah, we're just looking for honesty, openness, what makes you tick, the secrets of your success, what you've learned from your failures, all that good stuff. So you up for it?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's crack on. So, Tom, we're going to dive straight in with probably the most obvious question that I could possibly ask you. But I know, genuinely, there's a lot of actors, and I include myself in this until I started working more closely with you guys, that really don't know what an executive producer does. I mean, you hear it bantered around a lot. We see, you know, these execs as these gods of television, like these are the top dogs. And people are like, well, what is producing? I don't even know, you know, what that is. So first of all, I mean, what does an executive producer do? What's your roles and responsibilities? And what's a day in the life of Mr. Tom Sherry like when you're working over at Red?
Okay. Exec producer stroke producer, it depends on what job you're on. The exec thing for me is a sort of recognition of seniority and experience and gives me a slightly floating brief across some of the other projects that I'm not necessarily directly involved in at Red, but you can always dip in and out if there is some sort of troubleshooting.
Okay.
And then a large majority of what I do is producing. So a bit of both, and I love doing both as well.
So what is producing then? For those who literally have no clue, what is it?
It's a bit like being a football manager. You're putting together the team. You're choosing, you know, the combinations of which players are going to work well with each other. You're trying to source the funding and make sure that you're spending it responsibly. And you are responding to the brief that you've got from the channel through the commission, but at the same time trying to remain true to the writer's vision and keeping everybody on the same track of that vision. So every creative HOD that you bring in, quite rightly, has their own view on how they think they can enhance the project.
HOD, head of department?
Yes, sorry, yes. be that a director or a casting director or a director of photography, a designer. Everybody has their own input, and that's exactly why we employ them, because we want them to have their own input. But you do need somebody to manage that, to make sure that what they're bringing to the project isn't deviating from what the writer's original idea was. And at the same time, what it is that we've pitched to the channel, and we've sold the idea to them. So there's an understanding between us and the commissioners that we will deliver what we've promised.
Yeah.
So you are sort of an arbiter of the whole idea, and making sure that you deliver that to the best of your and everybody else's ability.
So it sounds dead easy then, really. It sounds
there's a certain amount of politics that goes with it, because you are trying to deal with individual egos, and you're also trying to encourage people to be open and creative, but at the same time within the brief, so you don't want to crush their enthusiasm.
So you're just keeping loads of plates spinning effectively and making sure everybody's working
there is a lot
collaboratively together.
Yeah.
Is it a stressful job? Do you find yourself going home and you can't switch off?
Oh, definitely. I mean, for months you don't switch off, and you eat, sleep, repeat. That's what you do with it. And you actually, sleeping is quite often about it. And you're really immersed in something when you wake up, and you can't quite distinguish between the reality of what happened in the day and the nightmares that you've lived through during your sleep, or were they the nightmares you lived through during the day? It's very difficult to sometimes switch off.
We're going to talk about kind of work-life balance later then. That'll probably be an interesting discussion. Red, I mean, let's be honest, are just flying. Absolutely amazing company. They just seem to be churning out, BAFTA-winning drama after BAFTA-winning drama. You always do great at the BAFTAs, the RTSs.
I'm glad it seems that way. It doesn't always when you sat in the, on the tables with the spotlight shining on the nominees, and once again you have to politely clap that you didn't actually
Have you got your loser's face down?
Oh yeah, I've got it off to a T. In fact, I've got it off to a T with other Red shows as well. I've found myself on a couple of occasions at the BAFTAs lined up on the Red row, and having to clap somebody else at Red.
Because is there,
because I didn't win and somebody else did.
Yeah, between you and Nicholas, you go, I'm execing this and you're execing that.
And Nicola execs everything, and there's no taking her off any of the projects, and that probably is the absolute kingpin on what is our success. We've got Nicola on every show.
So for those who don't know, by the way, Nicola Schindler is God. Legend, God at Red, basically. So Tom is a demigod. What's a demigod?
No,
it's not a woman,
not even that.
I think it's a demigod.
A minion is probably a better way of putting it.
Tom is a minion, but you're a pretty good minion, Tom. I think from the outside, I'm seeing you do great work. I wanted to ask then, what you think is kind of the secret behind Red's success? Because I said to you before we started, when you were getting your makeup done by the lovely Holly and Alicia, that Red are outside of London. They're kind of outside of that, that hub, the epicenter of the industry. There's probably been a conscious decision by Nicola to keep things up north, and I think you do northern drama better than anybody on the planet. What is what do you think are kind of those secrets behind the success of the company? What's the company ethos, I guess? How do you all make sure you're on top of your game all the time?
First off, you're absolutely right. It's a very deliberate decision to be based in Manchester.
Yeah.
Red is named after United.
Man United.
Yeah. In Nicola's opinion, I mean, personally, as a Liverpool fan, I have a different skew on that. But very deliberate decision. Nicola wants to work up here. I've always wanted to work up here, and the key members of the core staff, Andrew Critchley, who's been there from the beginning, we all see this as home, and there's no reason why we can't do what we're doing at home.
Yeah,
and that's been there from the beginning. It's possible to do it in London, but why make life hard for yourself? Mm-hmm. And the fact that there aren't a huge number of other companies doing it up here, to a certain extent, gives us a USP.
Yeah,
and identifying that gives us a separation and a bit of an edge when it comes to seeing a commissioner.
Yeah.
And you've got to be careful that you don't become known for just doing things that feel grounded and northern.
Northern, yeah.
You've got to find original ways of telling stories, that probably have a backdrop or a wash of credibility of where they're from, without being solely driven by where they're from. And that's the balance, I think, in terms of, not standing too far forward as being just northern, because then it becomes boring.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. It's got to be a good story, an engaging idea, an interesting concept. And we're filming it up here. And not everything we film is up here. I mean, this year we've shot Ordinary Lies in Wales. We're shooting another series later on in the year in Scotland. Paranoid, yes, half of it is in Cheshire, but not Manchester, Cheshire, so that's quite different. And the other half is in Germany. Happy Valley is obviously up in Hebden Bridge. The north is a big place. The Five was over in Liverpool. That's quite a spread of places, and there's no end to those spread of places. We can carry on. There's lots to offer in this part of the world.
I love it. Well, I'm a massive fan of the north because I'm from the north, and when I left drama school, that was 10 years ago, Tom. I'm knocking on a bit now. But it was 2005. And there was this big debate of, do I move down to London if I want to be an actor? Do I stay in the north? And half my mates moved down, half of us stayed up here. And as soon as this place, a Media City, came about, and obviously Red, just churning out really great stuff. At the time, LA Productions were doing good stuff, Abbott Vision. I was like, I don't need to spend all that money moving down south, living on baked beans or whatever. As an actor, it's tough,
Yeah, it is tough. And if you can make it work, then that's intelligent. Finding a way of making it work. I was very similar. I finished at film school, and a lot of my friends went to London. And I thought, well, Granada is just up the road. It's a huge company making fantastic dramas back then. I'm going to give it a go. Let's see how I do, working there. And I was fortunate. I managed to get enough work to establish myself and stay. The whole of my career hasn't been up here. And I'd be surprised if, what remains of my career is all based up here. Yeah. But if I can keep the lion's share of it, then that's
don't
great.
defect. Don't start drinking shandy and move down south, Tom. We're not
going to happen just yet.
It's interesting what you say about story. I think from an outsider's perspective, looking in objectively, I think a lot of the successes I've read has been down to the writers and those stories that you seem to attract amazing people. Chris Lunt, I've got some names here. There's Danny Brocklehurst. Sally Wainwright is amazing, and she's actually a really good actress, Sally. When I did some ADR on Happy Valley with her, she's so on it, so quick. You ask her to improvise. I'm like, Sally, you should maybe get in front of the camera. She now directs as well.
Yes.
So you attract some amazing writers. How do you nurture those relationships, and where do you even go to find these people, or do they come to you?
I think if we're going back to that earlier question, one of the key defining elements of what Red is that it's a writer-based company. And we work very hard on maintaining the voice and the original idea that was the writers. Nicola, myself, and anybody else in the company don't have pretensions to being a writer. We would do a very poor job if left in a dark room with a blank piece of paper for 6 months. It's not gonna happen. It's not what we do. We try and make it as good as we possibly can. We add layers of varnish. We encourage people to work on projects in a collaborative way. But at the heart of everything we do is the script. And you attract good writers by assuring them that you're going to stay true to their idea. And Russell T Davis, you mentioned Sally,
Harlan Coben was. How did you get hold of him? An American novelist. Writes the Five, stunning program. How do you reach out?
Richard Fee, our head of development, saw him in an airport.
Wow!
And recognised him and said, look, you won't.
So I hope you are enjoying this interview so far. All right, there's still so much more to come in this chat. If you want to get access to it, I need you to do two very simple things for me. All right, one, I need you to be on the actonthis.tv website. Okay, so if you're watching this preview on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else like that, look for a link in the description of the video, click it, and it's going to take you over to actonthis.tv, where you will find the full interview, okay? Secondly, I need you to then log into or sign up for a premium account to the site, okay? If you've already got a premium account, just log in at the top of the page and you'll get full access straight away. If you've not, then have a look underneath the video on actonthis.tv on that page, and you'll see a little description of how you can get a premium account very, very quickly. It'll take you like 2 minutes, if that. And you'll also see a link that's going to take you to a page where we'll explain how we use revenue from premium memberships to fund and help some amazing charities, okay? So it's an absolute win-win situation. So to recap, click on the link if you're not already on actonthis.tv that you'll find in the description of this preview, and then once there, log into a premium account or get yourself one, okay? It's going to tell you underneath the video how you can do that, or if you've got a free account, how you can upgrade to one as well. All right, so I won't keep you any longer, but do that and you'll get full access. I'll see you back in that interview very, very soon. Bye for now.